the law, but you're still a good person. Lawful neutral is more you're a good person, but you're kind of neutral in matters. Like you want to think about the consequences it may have. Chaotic good is probably the most like chaotic ones are usually the most open because you don't have to abide by any laws or anything. You just like, oh, that person's being held badly. You break them out of prison. That is a crime, but you're doing good or something. So being chaotic is the least restrictive and goes the same for all the other ones, just up to a different extent. Like if you're neutral, you don't have like if you're true neutral or neutral chaotic neutral, lawful neutral is you don't really care. You don't really have a preference of good or evil. But you're not evil or good. That's basically what it is. Evil is well, you don't, you're evil. Yeah. Okay. So now let's get into per ability scores. So I'm gonna tell you the tomato method. I think I might butcher this. I heard it a while ago. Uh, but so think about this. Ability scores are like kind of doing stuff to a tomato. Strength is the ability to crush the tomato. Let me bring up these things again so you can see. Let me get my pencil. Strength is the ability to crush a tomato. Constitution is the ability to eat a rotten tomato and be fine. Dexterity is the ability to throw a tomato at someone and hit. Intelligence is the ability is knowing that a tomato is not a vegetable and that it is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing that the tomato goes well in a salad. Charisma is your ability to sell a tomato as a vegetable. That's basically it. There's more to it, but so we're gonna do our ability scores. So I would like to go old school for it, but I making a script for this, sadly, and it's been a very long time making the script. So I will be using the pre-generated ones that the book gives you, and I would recommend you actually use it too. So it's a standard set of scores. They're 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. So these are also the ability score modifiers. Well, you don't really have to. But basically, if you have a 1 in something, you have a -5 to do anything. If you got a 30 in something, you got a +10. And, a 10, you got +0, 10 to 11 +0, 10 to 13, or 12 to 13 +1, 14 to 15 +2, 16 to 17 +3, 18 to 19 +4, 20 to 21 +5. Yeah, you get the thing. Also, like 8 to 9 is -1, so, you know. I will tell you what old school is. Old school is you'd have 3 6-sided dice, or 4, and you'd roll it. So 3, or what was it? It's 5, 6, 3, 1. All right. Then you'd add the 5, the 6, and the 3 up. You take off the lowest one. So that means that I would have a quick math 14 in that skill. Now 2, 6, 5, 1. All right, just think I landed all 6s. So that would mean I would have an 18 because I took it off. Or I landed all 1s, so that mean I got a 3, which is, if you go look back here, that's a -4. So that means whatever you doing, whatever you have, are you stupid? Are you like the most ugly person alive? Are you the weakest gamer in the West? Are you like slower than a snail, or can you not even? You basically die from cold. That's basically it. But old school is kind of fun because you can get pretty high scores at the same time you can get pretty low scores. So it's really cool to play out your character like that. So I will pick the highest one for my wisdom because wisdom is the cleric's spellcasting thing. It uses wisdom to cast spells. So I want the highest one in wisdom. I'll not write this down yet because I think. The second highest in strength, so that'd be like a 14. So if we go up here, 15 in wisdom, 14 in strength, 13 in intelligence. So that means that I'm very wise, or pretty wise, compared to the normal person, which a normal person is a 10. So it's plus 0, so pretty wise, pretty strong, and pretty smart. 12 in constitution, so I'm decent. Handling a cold. A lot better than I am right now. 10 is an average, so that's an average. So Constitution would be the third or fourth, so that'd be 12. Like I already said, and then Dexterity would be 10, so I'd have like a Dexterity, and finally Charisma, which means I'm not very charismatic. Okay, so. If you remember my scores from from being a dwarf, you got +2 to Constitution, and +1 to Wisdom for being a hill dwarf. That means that I have a whopping 16, or no, I'll put it down here. I'll do it so you guys can see. Let's move this thing to the side. Let me move that so it doesn't fall over. Alright. It's probably really hard to see. Okay, so a whopping 16 in wisdom, and just snapped. Okay, well, I'm really mad. Wait, right there. Just a second. Okay. Ugh. Alright, okay. So, it's just my luck that I got 2 things. This thing, the eraser doesn't really work that well. This thing barely has an eraser. Okay. Okay. Man, I've had that pencil for a while. It's like my only good pencil. Okay. Okay. Let's use this. It's easier to see. So, +3. Because of 16, if you look back here. Then strength is is 14. Oh crap, did the wrong thing again. No, the eraser does work, which is very small. What are we pushing? 28 minutes. Okay. +2. Strength. 14 for charisma because the +2 that we got for being a dwarf. So it's a +2. Intelligence is 13. Or no, 14. No, 13. Yeah, 13. So plus, I believe it 1. Did it wrong. I'm a failure. Okay. 13. +1. Dexterity 10, so +0. And charisma is 8, so it's a -1. So if I was gonna make a charisma thing, so such as a charisma skill check, such as deception, I'd have a -1. Actually, let me mark that right here. Plus -1. And then the skills are, unless I'm proficient in it, which I'll do over a bit more. Okay. So ability score modifiers important to remember. Very important to remember. +2, +1, +3, -1, +2, 0. Saving throws are modifiers that you have to make, or sometimes when something bad happens. There may be basic rules that can be influenced by some characteristics. For example, I have an ability, or a couple abilities I should add, that we should add my proficiency bonus to. Come on, 57. Okay. So, see right here. Each saving throws wisdom charisma, so that means I add my proficiency bonus, which is +2. So my charisma, you mark that in, and mark this right here in. So that means I have a +5 in wisdom and a +1 in charisma because the +2. So I actually have a positive when making saving throws. Okay. Okay, so the reason I went for this is because it'll benefit my character's play style. You know, if you want to you can be a strong wizard, even though it's never been heard of. You can be a strong wizard. You can be a stupid wizard. If you're not going to be rushing into battle, don't put a lot of things into strength or constitution. Put those in the others. Okay. Okay. 13. Oh yeah, I already showed you that. Okay. Now I'll show you the dice. Okay. Oh, I guess I found it. Okay. Okay. So, got special goodies right here. Bag of goodies. Let me just look at this. Chainmail. Chainmail. Just get flexing on. Okay. Let me find one. Please tell me I have one. Alright, here we go. See this? I had one for my for a little Nuevo New Mexico game. They're 4-sided dice. Okay. Or as the cool kids like to call it, a D4. That's what I'm saying about abbreviated. It is also referred to death because when you step on it, you get very sleepy very fast and go sleep for a very long time. Trust me that it will go from nice and comforting to on full alert when one of these is dropped on the floor. Like you'll just be sitting at the table, yeah, and then all of a sudden someone can't find their D4 and it's gone full mode. Especially like the plastic ones are pretty bad. It's like stepping on a really bad Lego. But these people make them in metal, so watch out. 4 combinations. I think you might know that. It's a 4-sided dice, so 4 combinations. You have 2, 3, 4. Yep. Then we got D6 or Yahtzee dice. Got 6 combinations. Call it D6. Basically, it's kind of used a bit. Then we got a D8, I think. Yeah. Let's get that. Oh, no, gotta find one. Nope, one right here. Alright, these ones. They're kind of like D4s, but if you had 2 D4s. So, that's something I go over next. But, so, there's 8 combinations. They don't hurt that much to stay on, luckily. Like, unless you can get it spinning. And then you step on it, I guess. But it can have 8 sides. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We call it D8. Then we got the D10. It's probably kind of useless showing this because you can kind of see through it. Okay. These are 10-sided dice. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10 combinations. So D10. 5, 5, 9, 4. Let me go down a bit. Okay. So now we get. Oh, let me see something. Look at that. Spin. I used to be really good at spinning it. Okay, probably get on because we're already at 35 minutes. Crap. And let me tell you, we're only. Well, no, we're four pages in. 4 pages. Okay, we're a third of the way in. Okay. So this is a 12 side dice. D12. 12 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, D20. Give a couple of these. Very important dice. D20s. They have 20 combinations. Very important dice because when I usually say you roll, roll for it. As long as I'm not talking about damage dice, which would be a D12, a D6, a D4, a D thing. Basically, all the ones before it. These are used to hit, to do anything. Usually, if you roll a 20, like, roll just a 20, and you say that, that will be an automatic success. And it's like a great success. Like, you did really good. And it's the opposite effect if you roll a natural 1. You get really bad, and maybe you do the backflip perfectly, but you break your neck in the process. Then we got the. Where'd it go? All right. So this is D10. Remember, this is D. This is technically a D10, but combine them and they're a D100. This one has like zeros and stuff, so it's good to remember. Or you can just have 2 D10s and it's 100 because it has 100 possible combinations. See that? That was a 47. I'm not going to count all them out. So you also may call it percentile dice because it's like you see a 73, a 26. Okay. Alright, going over that. Okay, advantages, and disadvantages. All right, let me take a drink. All right. Advantages and disadvantages occur when you have advantage on something or a disadvantage on something. So, for example, if you're trying to kick down a door that has its hinges weakened, you get an advantage because it's easier to do so. Or if you encounter a similar trap before and maybe even know how it is made, it would be easier to disarm the trap. On the other opposite end, if you're really small and weak, trying to arm wrestle some big burly dude who is the arm wrestling champion, you would have disadvantage on the guy, and the guy would have advantage. What advantage does is you can roll the d20 twice. Natural 1. But guess what? 11. See, you always take the larger the dice, or the greater number. So I'd get 11 there. I would not get the natural 1. Or if I had disadvantage, I'd roll it twice. Oh, look at that, an 18 and a 14. Let's get the worst number, a 7, an 18 and a 7. So I would really have a 7, but I did roll an 18, but I have a 7. You take the lower roll. When I say that dwarves are resistant to poison, you get advantage on saves against poison. So I got 19 against it. Against poison, and taking half damage from poison. You also take half damage from poison if you're resistant. This is true for all resistances, not just poison. Now we must go back to the cleric, who requires armor, weapons, and a backstory. I'll maybe kind of try to brush through these. Okay. In the truth, the background will not always make much sense with your character, but really, if you want to create a backstory for a character that does not include one of these, you can, but be warned, if you are new, it is best not to create one, but when first starting out, because these backgrounds are also good to gain some basic features, but also some skills. If making your own background is make sure it works with your DM and other players, because you do not want to directly contradict your DM's plot or be enemies with other characters in your party, but you have something that makes sense while you're in the party together. One important thing to have in mind, or to have something that makes sense while you're in the party